Welcome into episode 4 of The Wolf Way. Tom Throp here along with Westridge head coach Justin Hilton. Coach, happy homecoming. What a great Friday night.
Yeah. The best part about homecoming sometimes is that it's over and you get out of there with a win, but I think everybody had a good time. Administration did a wonderful job making the week memorable for our players and our students, and wow, what a crowd. Our crowd was awesome. It was a good night to be a Wolf.
Had one of your football players was homecoming king, and Caleb Mabb, Callista Page was the homecoming queen. Congratulations to both of them. Part of high school that is a wonderful aspect of it, but to be able to then go on the field and do what you were capable of doing and doing it well was a great testament to your team.
It's a huge compliment for Tanner Mims and Caden Duke and Caleb Mabb to be nominated. I thought they did a very good job of keeping the game in perspective while enjoying the festivities. I think they had cardboard cutouts of them on the car ride with the girls over so that they could be seen and still be prepared to play and not miss warm-ups. So I thought they handled that in a very mature way.
That's wonderful. And I know you talked about it last week that they had come to you, how do we do this? And obviously a great plan. And as you said, administration, great plan. And the carnival and all, a great homecoming week culminated with a great victory. And it was a great victory.
Yeah, I think we came out focused early on. Offensively, we were clicking. About as good of a first half offensively as I think you can have.
Yes.
And then defensively, we gave up a few things, but we knew based on how we were going to play them that we wanted to force them to do some things they didn't want to do, and we gave them a few things, and they took advantage of it. But for the most part, had quite a few 3-and-outs and had some good turnovers, forced some turnovers, so that was a good thing.
Hardin Valley came in 2-1, and you and I had talked prior to turning the microphones on about how good that team looked. They were big, they looked athletic when they were walking the field to get to see what it was like beforehand before they were padded up. It was an athletic looking team, and we knew they had some speed and such. We did a really good job shutting them down and attacking them offensively.
They were bigger than I thought they were going to be based on the roster and the sizes that we saw on the roster. But yeah, I mean that's a big school, and you get those schools out of Knox County. They're going to be athletic, and they've got a big pool to choose from, and I would expect that they're just going to continue to get better and better under that coaching staff because those are good coaches, and they're trying to turn that thing around, and I think they're headed in the right direction.
Offense for your team, again, this week, the Wolf way was to run the ball and be effective with doing it. And we've talked all year long, and we're going to talk about it all year long. It is an offense that sometimes doesn't look like a whole lot's going on because it's somewhat of a rugby scrum at times in the middle, and then all of a sudden you see Mr. Amix or Mr. Hilton or somebody take off with it, and it's an exciting length of the field type of play. It's tough, I think, for laymen to look at it and go, okay, how is it that this happens? But how is it that this happens?
Well, I felt like Nick Copas had a great plan going in. I think our first or second play was an explosive run by the quarterback. There's a lot of eye candy going on in the backfield with the motions, and we've been a little bit creative with those to get people's eyes looking in different directions and maybe make them miss an assignment. But Nick had a great game plan going in. We executed it well. Offensive line, I think that they gave us 6 different defensive fronts in the first quarter.
Yes.
So,
yes.
We've got to be prepared for anything because we never know what somebody's going to do, and made some great adjustments on the fly. Coach Patrick made a great adjustment in our blocking scheme, him and Coach Murray. So that was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. And again, over 500 yards total offense. I don't care if you're playing, whomever it is. You could pick up the teachers out of Westridge and play against them. You come up with 500 yards offense. That's extraordinarily impressive.
Yeah, 504 yards total offense. We hit a pass, needed it.
Yes.
Hit a 20-yard pass. We were 1 for 1 on the night. Amix had 259 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. Justice had 159 yards and a touchdown. And then Orlando Mack and Dayton Brown combined for almost 80 yards collectively on the ground. So great job running. And Jackson Price made an incredible catch on a back shoulder throw down near the end zone. And he was getting held and interfered with, and he still came away with it. He's a tough little guy. So great play by him. And offensively, I was not pleased in the second half with our focus, but offensively as a whole, I think that we played a pretty complete game.
I would agree, and I'm glad you brought that up. We are going to touch on that before we finish with the Wolf Way today because of the upcoming game. Defensively, again, we knew coming in the Rogers kid, great speed. They had their big kicker, who was also tight end, was one they try to get the ball to, and interesting ways of getting the ball to their skilled people. Did a real good job defensively holding them in check.
You know, we wanted to take away the explosive pass game early. They got us in something where they did hit one. You know, you're going to give those up every now and then. We were still in pretty good position. Guy made a good play.
Yes.
Sam Perry, again, double-digit tackles all over the field, played well. Jacob Bledsoe was our defensive player of the week this week. 5 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, had a sack. Came in, did a great job. We're continuing to try to build depth in that defensive line. Billy Hawkins came in and played well. Braylon Vance had an interception, and so did Caleb Mabb. And so, you know, defensively we're opportunistic. We played a lot of people on the defensive side, and for the most part I was pleased with our defense. But again, felt like we had a little lull there, but we got that corrected and got the W.
When you go up against a team with speed like Hardin Valley has, and we're going to see some speed teams as the season progresses, if you don't necessarily match up man-to-man speed-wise, scheme-wise, what did you look at doing against Hardin Valley that obviously was successful?
You know, one of the things we did, we played 2 deep safeties, which we've not done really all year long, but we felt like, and we got 2 interceptions when we were in that 2 deep look. But you give and you take, and so when you take away the pass, you give them the run in some instances, and I think the keys to any game is making a team do what they don't want to do, and
right.
They love to throw the football. They love to throw the screen game. I thought we did an excellent job on their screen game, which is one of the best screen games I've seen the whole time that I've been coaching. Great, they have a great plan doing that, so worked really hard on that, and we forced them to run the football, which is something they have not done a whole lot of in previous games, and they had a little bit of success, but at the end of the day, I don't think they got to hit those big plays like they wanted to.
No doubt. And one of the big plays, and I thought we'll kind of roll into the special teams aspect of things. Caleb Mabb, our homecoming king, had an interception, but had a tremendous directional punt. Kick to his left, the ball ends up rolling, to keep it away from their speed. And I don't know that you could draw it up any better and walk it down there and set it down. But for someone who at the start of the season was not going to be the punter, he has been instrumental in every game so far with his leg.
Yeah, averaged 44 yards punting, so that's not too bad. Hardin Valley's punter, interestingly enough, brother is the punter for ETSU.
Is that right?
Yeah, kicked in the game against Tennessee, and so he averaged 41 yards. He was a great punter too,
Yes.
But Caleb did. He flipped the field a couple times. He kept it away from them, put it in good areas. They had one good kickoff return, but other than that, I felt like our kickoff coverage was pretty good.
Right.
So, yeah, special teams were good, and did a better job protecting on the PATs.
Yeah, we did. We actually 7 for 7 on the PATs. Only 5 of them count, but that's because of offside penalties on the other team. You had to re-kick as opposed to being able to determine if you want to take the kick or not. But again, a very important aspect of it. They tried 2-point conversions. I'm not sure why with their kicker, because he had a tremendous leg both as punting and kicking on the kickoff aspect. But they went for 2, you stopped them. They went for 2 again, you stopped them. They went for 2 again, you stopped them. And all the while, it may be mundane to folks, but those extra points mean something.
Oh, they mean a whole lot. Yeah, the extra points are, well, we know that going back to Elizabethton, yeah. So, and interestingly enough, when they were going for 2, they got in that little swinging gate formation, and we had seen them do it once. Sam Perry did a great job getting us lined up in it the first time that they came out, and then we had time to adjust on the board and did a better job of getting lined up after that. But, when you only see things once or twice in a whole season, for the guys to be able to recognize that and get lined up correctly was a big deal.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. And again, big deal to be able to go back from having a couple of kicks blocked in a game to having them off sides and attacking, and you're still able to get the kicks good. So again, that's part of the smile of the 7 out of 7, but that happened with guys off sides in there. You executed and got them off.
Well, I think too, if you look back at the Elizabethton game, and this is an important thing to say, had we won the Elizabethton game, the mistakes would have still been there, but the focus on the mistakes may not have because you feel good about the win.
Yes.
Even though we don't like a loss, with the loss, you self-reflect, kind of look at yourself a little bit closer and go back and fix those things. So I think we should be a better team because of that moving forward.
Yeah, the Wolf way. I like that. You take a big victory and now you put it into a rivalry game. And it's a rivalry game. You talked about focus. It's a rivalry game against a team that is geared up. It's UT against Alabama. If UT could beat Alabama during the Johnny Majors era, that's all he had to win, and he was going to keep his job. Right this minute, Boone's having a tough time, tough season. Your guys read the paper and see WJHL or WCYB or whatever and know that Boone's had a tough time. Having focus going into this game is obviously key to functioning.
You know, I think an important thing to note too is Boone is struggling right now, but they're dangerous because they have nothing to lose. So we're expecting onside kicks, going forward on fourth down, formations maybe we haven't seen, all-out blitzes, because truly this would be some, you know, this is going to be their focus and they're going to be extremely excited about it. Also, they've played the #1 team in the state in Sevier County.
Yes.
And Union, Virginia, which is phenomenal this year.
Yes.
So they've played good competition, so you can't really score watch on those things.
Right. But that is something that fans do, teenagers do, and we're talking about it.
We're fighting the outside noise all the time. You're right. But I think our kids understand it, and it's truly just the next game. And I think one of the biggest factors in this, Jeremy Jenkins is their head coach. Jeremy was a mentor to me when I first started coaching. He was the defensive coordinator at South. He taught me a lot of the things that I know and about physicality, toughness, defense, I mean, all of those things. And I still believe he's one of the best, if not the best, defensive coordinators in Northeast Tennessee, maybe in Tennessee.
Right.
Highly respected. So I know they're going to be tough and physical and sound, and he'll have a great game plan, and we're going to have to come out and execute.
The execution is something that has happened all 4 games so far for your Wolves. It has been a solid performance game in and game out. Again, a few things that didn't work right in Elizabethton, and there's a lot of things, there's a lot of colored cloth that hit the floor that kind of changed things as well. But regardless, you're coming off a big win against a big team, going up against a rival that wants you bad, and again, it's their Super Bowl right this minute, their opportunity to turn the season around. So far, you've had a day of practice this week. How do you feel about it?
I can assure you our full attention is on Daniel Boone, kids and adults alike.
We will be ready. It is the Wolf way to be ready. Yes, sir. We'll touch quickly on this, and you do have some kids that are a little bit banged up, one particularly, and we're going back to special teams. Your long snapper, Jace Arwood, has, I understand, a damaged, maybe broken collarbone. Saw him after the game with the sling on, and that's disheartening to see anybody hurt at any point in time. How do you replace him? What do you do at that point?
You know, it happened on the opening kickoff, so it was next man up. Hayden Music is now the snapper and stepped right in, did a phenomenal job, short snapped and long snapped. Jace last year snapped as a freshman, so we will bring up our freshman snapper to start getting reps with the varsity as well, so that we'll have another guy ready, you know, just in case. But yeah, I think it was a testament to Hayden practicing. You know, they practice every day for a reason, even though they don't know, and he stepped right in there and did a great job.
Wonderful. What is the Wolf way for a victory this week on the road against Daniel Boone? 7:30 kickoff. I wanted to throw that again, and I'll do it before we finish, but what's the Wolf way to win?
We've got to be the most physical team on the field offensively and defensively, which will be a challenge. Daniel Boone likes to hang their hat on that. I think we'll have to make some plays in the passing game this week. I think they're going to force our hand on that, and we'll be ready for it. And then defensively, tackling some of those tough runners they have and getting them down on the ground. Special teams-wise, we've got to win. We've done a good job of that. We've got to continue to do that, and I think those will be big factors.
Coach, appreciate you. Again, happy homecoming a few days afterwards as we sit here and talk. Great win, 3-1. Let's see if the Wolf way can get us to 4-1.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you. We'll be back with you next week. We thank you for listening to the Wolf Way.